Shalom, 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 yasha'Allah. This your boy, Brother Shamu Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Playing Upon Tables, right? Playing Upon Tables. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders. Great millstone will rude well to the Spirit, and it fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and it's pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges, and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right. And I got a couple of articles here, right? Salakia, this one is from CNN World, right? And it's playing upon tables where this system is going. Okay, you know, digital is on its way. It's moving fast. Okay, cash is getting ready to be obsolete. All right, and we know something major is getting ready to happen, right? To cause, you know, the cashless system, you know, to be implemented, right? And that cashless system ultimately will lead to Revelation 13 and 16. All right, the Kodagma. All right. You know, because everything's going to be digital at that point, and you'll be able to have everything digitally. All right. Salakia. So this is a CNN World. It says, Eric Trump talks crypto at Dubai conference, token 2049. It says just 2 weeks before his father's visit to the Gulf, Eric Trump was in Dubai touting crypto and slamming the traditional banking system as broken. Okay, this is broken, and the only way it's going to be a fix it is to go to digital. All right, the digital, right? Now everything is digital. You don't need cash. You don't need paper billing. You don't need physical. Now it's all digital. All right, and that digital is going to move ultimately to the MOTB. All right. So this is from USA Today. This was also today too. It says Trump's stablecoin chosen for $2 billion Abu Dhabi investment in Binance, co-founder says. It says a stable coin launched by Donald Trump's World Liberty financial crypto venture is being used by an Abu Dhabi investment firm for its $2 billion investment in crypto exchange Binance. Once one of the World Liberty's co-founders said on May 1st. All right, it says it's the latest in a series of Trump's family crypto-related ventures. All right, including a meme coin launched in January that have drawn criticism from government ethics experts and political opponents over potential conflicts of interest. Okay, now remember, it's the same guy who said, you know, he was going to, keep cash. He was going up against it, right? But you see how his tune changed, right? Because what those elites have told him, you know, you want this, what you want to, you want to be the president. Listen, you're going to follow this script here, all right? And now all of a sudden, now he's the crypto president, all right, and got a family business in it. Okay, so it says World Liberty, which aims to allow people to access financial service without intermediaries like banks, said March it would launch USD1, a dollar-pegged stablecoin backed by U.S. Treasuries, dollars, and other cash equivalents. It says speaking at a crypto conference in Dubai, Zach Witkoff, a co-founder of the World Liberty, said USD1 would be used to close the $2 billion investment by Abu Dhabi-based MGK, or so like MGX, into Binance, the world's biggest crypto exchange. We are excited to announce today that the USD1 has been selected as the official stablecoin to close MGX's $2 billion investment in Binance, said Witkoff, who is the son of Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, right? It's a family business. They're getting into it, all right? And if you haven't been seeing, right, you've had, dang, what is his name? I can't think of his name right now. Man, I've done a couple lessons on him, but he's been selling off his all his Bank of America and like banking stocks. He's been selling them off since earlier last year, right? And then into this year. I cannot think of his name, Salakia. Warren Buffett. Call it Bahasham. So it says, let me keep reading. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren sharply criticized the venture and pending U.S. legislation on stablecoins before the Republican-controlled Senate. It says a fund backed by a foreign government just announced it will make a $2 billion deal using Donald Trump's stablecoins, said Warren, a member of the U.S. Senate Banking Committee. Meanwhile, the Senate is gearing up to pass the Genius Act, stablecoin legislation that would make it easier for the president and his family to line their own pockets. This is corruption, and no senator should support it. It says, while the White House and World Liberty Financial did not respond immediately to requests for comment, the use of the USD1 in the deal highlights World Liberty's growing clout in the global crypto industry, and it ties to Binance. It says USD1 is issued on Binance's blockchain. Stablecoins are an increasingly lucrative cog in global crypto trading. Their issuers typically profit by earning interest from the treasuries and other assets that underpin them. It says the value of a USD1 in circulation reached about 2.1 billion on Wednesday, according to CoinMarketCap data, making it one of the fastest growing stablecoins. The identity of its major holders, however, remains unclear. An anonymous cryptocurrency wallet that holds $2 billion worth of USD1 received the funds between April 16 and the 29th, according to data from crypto research firm Ackman. It says readers could not ascertain the owner of the wallet. It says Binance founder and former CEO Changpeng Zhao, who was incarcerated in the United States last year after pleading guilty to violating U.S. laws against money laundering, met Zach Witkoff and two other World Liberty co-founders in Abu Dhabi, according to a photo posted on social media site X on Sunday. It was great to see our friends in Abu Dhabi, posted Zhao in response to the photo tagging Witkoff. Zhao, who is 2023, stepped down from his role at Binance as part of a $4.3 billion settlement with the U.S. over illicit finance charges, remains a major shareholder of Binance. Tron blockchain integration. It says separately, Zach Witkoff announced that USD1 will be integrated into Tron, the blockchain of Hong Kong-based crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun. Sun is the biggest known investor in World Liberty and an advisor to the venture, according to his social media post. It says having poured at least $75 million into the project. Sun was fighting a U.S. securities fraud lawsuit at the time of his first investment in the World Liberty. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in February paused its case against him, citing public interest. Sun moderated the panel on which Witkoff spoke on Thursday, with Trump's son, Eric Trump, also on stage. The president who campaigned on a promise to be a crypto president, has pledged to overhaul federal rules on crypto. Trump handed over management of his assets to his children before returning to the White House, and he will have no role in day-to-day decision makings, his company has said. Okay, so they're making this a family business. They're going into this digital because they know this is where it's leading to. All right, and if you don't understand, right, then you're living on a rock somewhere. Okay, because this is coming. Okay, you know, and it's plain upon tables to see what's going on. All right, and we know the scriptures talk about it, right? Habakkuk chapter 2. I start at verse 1. It says, "And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he shall say unto me, and what shall I answer when I am reproved. And Yahawah, Bahasham, answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." It says, "Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Okay, and we see it, right? This thing is speeding up. All right, it's speeding up. Now, I remember maybe it was a couple months ago, they were supposed to have already started the whole process, but they pushed it back, right? They pushed back the, like basically going digital. All right, but it's coming. We see it. Okay, Nero has made it a family business. Okay, because the everything, like I say, as plain as it is. All right, let me read in the NLT verse 2. It says, "Then Yahawah said unto me, Write my answer plainly on tablets, so that the runner can carry the correct message to others." All right, and we see it. You can see it playing out, man. If you're watching, you have eyes to see. You've seen the banks slowly start cutting their branches. I did lessons on where banks don't even accept. There's some banks at points that don't even accept cash, for payments and different stuff, right? And now they're cutting banks. They're cutting like branches left and right. Okay, and you see, what did Donald Trump's son say? Eric Trump. He said the financial system is broken, right? So they're gonna fix it. And they're gonna fix it by what? By this digital. Okay, and this digital, how they're gonna track it, right? Ultimately, it's gonna be right part of that MOTB. Okay, it's gonna be implemented into that MOTB. All right, that tracking device. Okay, the RFID CHIP. Okay, this is all leading to this. Okay, this this is years and years in the making, right? But remember, this was written, thousands of years ago. Okay, so Yahawah Shai is calling it out, right? Matter of fact, what's that? Obadiah. It says Obadiah verse 6, right? It says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" Okay, through the prophets of Yahawah Shai. All right, we see these things. All right, and it's plain upon table. All right, because this digital currency, right, making it digital, is going to lead to ultimately the MOTB. Okay, and having everybody mandatory, right, C-hipped. All right, because everything is going to be all digital. Okay, it says, and the thing about it is, because what are you going to do? You can't go to banks anymore. They're closing banks, right? They're closing these establishments, right? It's not going to be used for it. Okay, because everything is going to be digitally tracked, right? And the best part about it is going to be right on you, so you don't have to worry. Look, oh, we got you. This is what they're going to try to implement. Okay, Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, right, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, because there's no more paper cash. Everything is going to be digital. Okay, and the only way that you're going to get your money, right, is going to be taking this mark right here. All right, which is, we'll go to it again for the new people in the back. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark, right, which is karagma, right? Let's get it.
Strong's G 5480, charagma, charagma.
Right, karagma, right, a stamp, imprinted mark, a mark or stamped in the forehead on the right hand. It says the mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work, idolatrous image. All right, and we look up that root word, right, karax.
Strong's G 5482, charax, charax.
Right, that root word is karax, right, and it's to sharpen, to point. All right, a pail or a stake, right? You have a wooden stake. What do? You drive it into the ground. Okay, so this chip, how is it going to be input? It's going to be driven into inside your hand or your forehead. All right, using all the you just go look on the channels and you'll see the device that they're going to use to implant this. All right, and on that is going to have all your information, your financial records, your financial information, right? Your record, your history, your you name it, right? Medical stuff, it's all going to be right there, and they're going to be able to track you and everything that you do. All right, and guess what? You do something, right? They'll just take away that money from you, right? We've seen it, right? You had the lady who's had it for a while, and then she started to speak out, and what did they do? They shut down where she couldn't even get into her house, right? Because they shut down the chip on her, right? They blocked her money, so she couldn't get her money out, right? Because she was starting to speak out about it, right? And they showed her what was up, all right? But a lot of people are going to fall for this, right? They're going to fall for this thing, okay? So it says a pail or a stake, a palisade or rampart, pales between which the earth, stones, trees, timbers, heaped and packed together. But yeah, what I wanted, like a pail, a stake, right, is to sharpen to a point, okay, like a needle, okay. And what did they use? Basically a big needle. I did the lesson where you had the guy who got it, and they pinched it in between his thumb and his pointer finger, right in between there, and they drove in that RFID hip, okay. And that's where your financial and all your stuff, is going to be going, right? Because the paper money is disappearing, all right? And it's going to disappear completely, okay? Because they're going to the digital, all right? And, ultimately, this is going to lead, to this. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, right? Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, okay? Because you couldn't, right? It says in the NLT, and that no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name, right? But it's that karagma. You got to have that C-hip in order to buy or sell. And it's already set up, right? You can go to these major stores. An example would be Whole Foods. They already have it, where you can scan your stuff, man. This technology, everything is already set up. All right. That's how close we are. Right. And that's how plain it is. Okay. That is plain upon tables at this point. All right. Just waiting for, them to cause, their chaos so that they can bring this in. right? That major event that they're going to use to go digital. All right. But they're doing it right before your eyes. A lot of people don't see it. All right. So I just wanted to do this, quick little lesson, right? Saw the article. I wanted to bring it out, right? It's just, it's continuous to be playing upon tables, right? So you can't say that you didn't see it, right? You can't say that you haven't seen it. All right. And ultimately, we cannot take this, right? And those who refuse, right? Revelation chapter 3, verse number 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, right? And that great temptation is going to be, that micro C-hip, okay, that RFID C-hip, because guess what? People are going to be, panicking about, if they can buy groceries, right? If they have a place to live, right? That's going to be the ultimatum, all right? Or death, right? It says people will be beheaded, all right? So this is seriously, this is the stuff that we're getting into, right? Because if you're not a part of this system, right, then there's no need for you, all right? And this is why we have to put our trust and our faith in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi in these days, right? And it tells you those who take it, right? Revelation 14 and verse number 9, right? It says, doom for the worshipers of the beast. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right, you're gonna be here in Babylon, and you're gonna get that nice nuclear fire, okay, from those ICBMs, right? And also when Yahawashi returns with the angels, right, like it says in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb, because they're gonna be tearing stuff up too, okay. And your fate could be, getting zapped by one of them spaceships, right? That they're gonna be coming in, right, tearing folks up. All right. So beware, right? Because it's going to be the wrath. You have to drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High, right? Which is going to be poured out without mixture, right? It's not going to be pleasant, not going to be easy. This is going to be a painful death. All right. You think about it, right? The first death was water. The second death is fire, man. Two are the worst ways to go, man. Two are one of the worst ways to go, right? Water and fire, man. Drowning and burning alive, man. Okay? So, like I said, I just want to do this quick lesson, right? Lord's will, this was edifying, right? With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad, a mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there, man. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep enduring, right? And remember, right? Hey, we have to put our trust and our faith in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, all right? To get us through, to endure, right? To avoid that hour of temptation that's going to come upon the whole world, man. All right? We got to keep that patience, all right? And with that, I'll say shalom.